You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, King Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's The New Normal After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's The New Normal After Show.
My mind's telling me no.
Give it to me.
But my body.
Kels, what is your body doing?
Body's telling me yes.
All right. Thanks.
Baby.
Well, we will explain what this song means in a second, but Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another episode at AfterBuzz TV for you of The New Normal, episode 13.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Season 1. This episode was called Stay at Home Dad, and I was just telling my lovely co-host, I am Lauren Leonelli, by the way.
Hi, I'm Jake DuPree.
I'm Tara Johnson.
And Jackie is not with us this evening.
Oh, we miss you, Jackie.
We miss you, Jackie,
love.
but she will be back. That song, well, every time I see Justin Bartha, we all know that I love Justin Bartha. And I was telling Jake and Tara here that I picture a dimly lit room, and he and I slow dancing to Miguel's Adorn. And we were wondering what happened to R&B and Kels singing Bump and Grind.
Bump and Grind.
And we just had to talk. We were talking about it. That's what that song means. And Justin Bartha, I heart you.
My mind's telling me no.
It's true, but my body is telling me yes.
We're taking it to church. We're taking it to church with that song. Little. Thank you, Jesus.
There
Thank
we
you,
go.
Jesus.
There we go.
Thank you.
Hallelujah. Praise the Lord.
Thank you very much. Well, that, it's actually fitting because this song is what we were just saying gets people into trouble.
All the time.
And we think maybe that's where Shania came from. Maybe a little tequila and a little Kels.
Late
There
night.
you go. It could have been 12 play if it wasn't this.
It could. I mean, there's so many.
So many to choose from.
My body is telling me yes.
My body's telling me
I miss R&B. Where is it going?
I don't know. So
That's
do I.
why I'm obsessed with Miguel and
Yes.
Adorn, because it's like it's bringing me back to 1994.
Yeah, Miguel's trying.
And he's succeeding.
Yes, he is.
It's an amazing song. So Stay at Home Dad. Let's just go right into it. Stay at home dads who listen to R. Kelly, Trapped in the Closet. Oh, that's actually, I didn't even.
There you go.
That's not what I meant. Of course, they did the normal juxtaposition here of Bryan and David and how they view things and how they treat things, and we have the caricatures of who they are, and we knew that this was kind of where it was going to go probably when we saw them interviewing the nannies in the beginning. And I'm thinking, did you think they were going to hire a nanny?
I honestly thought they might.
Really?
I think it'd be a good addition to some kooky, crazy nanny. Maybe
Totally.
Sherry O'Terry could come back.
Oh, could you imagine?
idea.
That'd be
The baby
amazing.
proofer?
I never thought they were going to. I always thought they were going to hire a nanny.
See, I thought when I first saw them interviewing, I'm like, oh, cool, okay, they're bringing another character. But then when they started to kind of have not success with it, then this one came in, this one couldn't diaper the baby, this one, I was like, well, where are they going with this, just storyline-wise?
Yeah.
But I do think it would be awesome to see a crazy nanny. Ooh, who could they bring in?
I don't know, but what nanny could answer those questions that they were asking?
Oh, yeah. And she's like, I'd put butter on it, on the cut, on the scrape.
Honey, we
Wouldn't
don't
it be
do butter
hilarious
on
if Julie Andrews was just the person they chose and she was on the show?
Now, how much would I love that?
Perfect.
You're
Perfect. See,
good,
well,
Good.
looks like we have a casting director
I
over here.
love casting.
I'd rather just
everything.
have Robin Williams as Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh my
That's
God,
another
that's
good choice.
hilarious.
You gotta put butter on it. Oh, yeah.
That's our engineer Steven's impersonation of Robin Williams.
Being totally weird, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that was yeah. You know, Robin Williams freaks me out every time I see him in an interview. I'm like, what's he gonna do? No.
All I
he
want to
makes
tell
me
him to do
nervous.
is to shave his forearms.
He's
Yeah,
Lord.
very hairy.
really hairy.
He would really have to doctor that up for his nanny position with them because I don't think that they would like any excess hair anywhere.
Brian's not going for that. at
Brian
all.
is OCD, and I know he's OCD because he, in this episode, said one line, and I was like, he's OCD. He was reaching down by his nightstand in the beginning of the episode, and he goes, "Are you touching my things?"
right.
That's what that was, right?
Yes.
That's how I read that. Like, he's like one thing is like out of place, and he could tell. That is how I am. If I walk into my apartment and one thing's askew, I'm like, who did that? Why is there a wrinkle in my pillow in the wrong spot? I'm sorry, but okay, it's fine.
We love
Okay,
you anyway. We love you
I'm just
anyway.
admitting, and let's just say that there is a little info about that in the news and gossip that might tie into Ryan Murphy's real life. We will get to later. But okay, so they don't end up hiring a nanny. They're like, this is not going to work. We're going to do this on our own. And Brian really wants to be a stay-at-home dad. He's like, I want to do it. I want to do
Right.
it. I'd be so good at it. What did you think, oh yeah, Brian's totally going to be the one that should be doing this?
No.
Me either.
I mean, I could tell he really wanted to do
Yes.
it. I could tell David really wanted to do it. He just didn't want to say, Brian, not only Brian, I want to do it, but I think I can do it better than you.
Yep.
But that whole Shania situation, that sick Shania, not my favorite.
Out of control.
That was crazy.
I was thinking, I was on the same road as you. Like, I didn't think I thought Brian would freak out because he always freaks out about something. Like, he's like, oh my God, something gets messy and he freaks out or whatever, which is like someone who's not used to kids and has that personality type, I could totally see. But I'm thinking in my mind, David, he's a doctor, like he's more calm in like a stressful situation. He's
He
more in
likes to
control.
organize, and he's organizing the chaos.
Totally.
The doctor.
But we saw that sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. Like, he needed to be a little bit more relaxed and maybe a little bit more like Brian when he had that princess tea and he was like, what the F is happening? Now, if that were Brian taking care of those little girls, it would have been on.
Right.
He would have been on. I mean, well, whatever. I'm just saying.
It
based
would have
on
been
their
raining
character.
glitter. It would have been
They would have
on.
been like obsessed.
Yes.
They
But
would have
those
been.
were
Yeah.
like demon children, though.
Of course, it was heightened
Those
situation.
kids were like, you
that
know,
one little girl that's like, I need to go take a bath.
Yeah. I would have
Okay.
had each of them sitting in a corner the entire tea. It'd have been like, time out for you all
Time out
day.
for all of you. This is what I
Is
would have
that
done.
the future of kids? Is that the kind of kids that you deal with, though?
No, I mean, no. I think, you know what? I think it depends because some kids, in my experience, and I've had a lot of experience in childcare, some kids that don't know you it's like that, how do you say it? There's a level of like fear a little bit because you tell them no and they're like, I don't really know this person. Like, I'm just going to listen to them. But then there's that rare child that's like, I don't know you and I don't care. And then they don't, and all
think they
those
know better than you.
All those girls in that party were that little kid today. Like, I don't
Sure.
know you and I don't need to listen to you. Like, you're not intimidating me because you're an adult and I don't know you and I'm a little bit afraid of like what might happen, so I'm just going to listen to you. All those little girls were like, just
See,
wretched.
I would have caught
Satan.
a case. I would have caught a case. Child welfare services would have. I would have caught a case. No,
I'd be
seriously.
like, you get to go out to the backyard and pick the biggest switch.
Yeah,
We'll
we're-
see what happens.
we're
We'll see what
Southern.
happens.
You're like, this is how we do it.
We don't play that in the South.
I think that Brian would have done a better job in that situation.
Yes.
Definitely.
But then we saw the reverse when David or when Brian was supposed to be taking care of Shania on the day that she was going to school, where maybe David's organizing skills and
Right.
all of that would have come into play. David took care of Shania on a Saturday on accident. Like, he did all that, got that all ready, and it was not even a school day.
I mean, he was great though. She would have been
was
like
great.
on time for school. What did he say? I have an hour to check your spelling or your math, and I can't figure out which one I want to do first.
He was so
And then look
excited.
through the yearbook and pick out the guys that she likes and tell them which one is gay.
That's awesome.
I love that.
That was amazing.
I love that.
That was great.
And he was so excited about it. He had like cereal, and then he had that like cut orange with blueberries in the middle. I was like, whoa.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
So we're seeing their, strengths and how this is going to work in the future. Like, I'm going to say that, you know, David's the dad that, like, make sure your homework's done. Let's go to, here's your healthy breakfast. We're going to school. We have T-minus 10 minutes. We're out the door. And, you know, Bryan's the dad that's like, oh, it's birthday party time. I'm planning that. We're doing it. It's going down.
This is going to be the best birthday party. Like, everyone's going to be jealous.
Yeah.
But I think it's so nice that they're so different, because with two exact same cooks in the kitchen, it is going to turn out to be a huge mess.
Totally.
They'd just be stepping on each other, and
of course,
it would drive each other crazy, I think.
And they both have, you know, such amazing different things to offer, which is why, you know, their relationship works so well. And yes, I think, like we talked about, the juxtaposition between them is so stereotypical, and like, he's the feminine gay guy that likes musicals, and he's the more like sporty, I'm gonna watch, you know, football with the dogs, and like, I played baseball when I was a kid, but I happen to be gay. Like, they're very opposite ends of the spectrum, but in this circumstance, it helps kind of show like how, I mean, it's a TV show, so it's going to be more extreme. Those little girls at that Princess Tea party, that's not real. I mean,
Better not be.
It's not. I've been at many birthday parties, and they're not all like, you know, they're sweet little girls.
Right.
Like, so there's one or whatever that's, you know, not going to listen to you, or having a bad day, or had too much sugar or whatever. But for the most part, it's not like that.
Right.
And it's an extreme situation for the comedy or for the story.
Yeah.
But, you know, I do like that it shows. I've always liked that Bryan and David represent like the opposite ends of the spectrum, extreme ends of the spectrum, to show you that there's that and then everything in between.
True.
You know?
True.
And gay looks like nothing. It looks like you and me and whoever. It doesn't, there's no stereotype to like what that means.
Right.
You
And
know?
I think whenever you do those stereotypes where it's like the extremes, people can relate to those extremes more than they can to just being like a generic character.
Totally.
True.
And so
I
people
agree.
in middle America watching the show, if they ever did give it a chance,
Yeah.
They would realize
they would realize that they could identify with, you know, being like the really creative one or being like the really organized one. So
Right.
I think it's very smart to do that.
Yeah, I like that. Although sometimes it seems very stereotypical.
And like, you know,
Totally.
nudge,
But
nudge,
I
nudge.
get why they're doing it. It's to show the opposite end of the spectrum, and to show that there's that and everything in between. Just like, I mean, it sounds so dumb to say, but it's just like every other relationship. Like, I can't even, it sounds awkward coming out of my mouth, because how would you not know that?
Right.
But
Yeah.
I have to say it to make the point, which is just weird to me.
Same
that
issues.
People don't
Same issues.
get that.
But let me ask this question. Like, the one thing we found strange was that, you know, Bryan was like, let me be the stay-home dad, and David wanted to do it too. And in the beginning, they were almost competing against each other. Does that normally happen? And that's just, you know, or is that an instance where male testosterone jumps in? So is the competition type of thing, is that normal between couples?
I don't know, but I will say, still in this, you know, day and age, it is still much more common for the man to go and make all the money, and for the woman to stay home. A lot of the families that I have worked with, or the families or the friends of the family that I work for, that's 99% of the population. Sometimes they both work, but more often than not, it's the man that's the breadwinner and the woman staying home. I know of one family where that is not the case, and the dad is like the stay-at-home dad, and the mom, like, I think both of the parents had a really good job, and they were moving from New York to LA, and one of them had to say goodbye to their job, and she picked hers was the better job, so she got to take it, and he stays home with the kids. And it's like one of the like tons of families in the whole school of the families that I know. So it's not as common, and I don't know that it gets, I feel like it's just the way it is still, which is weird.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that that's the situation that I'm talking about is not representative of the entire country or world, but it's just in the small range of people that I know that's the way it is. So I don't know how competitive they get, but it's also interesting that we met that character that was the stay-at-home dad that they met at school, that was carrying the baby and the baby Bjorn like Hangover style.
Yes.
And he was miserable.
He actually said, my wife has lost respect for me.
He says that
Yeah.
she shudders when he tries to touch her, and his wife has lost respect for him because he is like, that's where it gets sticky, I think, because men and women, gay, straight, whatever you are,
Right.
everyone's equal. But because there's that societal myth of like the man is the hunter and he goes out and he hunts you, he finds you, you need to be chased. And then once that happens, he takes care of you and you stay home with the babies. Although that sounds very archaic in like 1950, it's almost like that societal myth is taught to you for so long that then when people complain like, if a woman's like too feminist, like don't open the door for me, it's like, well, what is the guy gonna do for you? Like there's that other side of the argument.
True.
In that case, that's the flip side of the argument. Like, he felt like he had no purpose.
Right. And money is power. Unfortunately, in this society, money is power. So if you're the person who goes out and makes the money, you kind of wear the pants.
So what happens to the man then?
I don't know. I mean,
he can't. I mean, do you think a man feels like he has no role? What does he do in that situation? Who is he?
Some guys
Like
actually
the
fall into-
identity.
It's so funny that it's even a question to ask what's his role, because if the woman was home doing
Good
quote
point.
unquote nothing or whatever, no one would think anything about it.
No, that's
but
what I'm
once
saying.
the guy's there, it's so silly that would even be
Yeah.
an issue. Like, does that make him less of a man?
No, that's what
being
I'm
home
saying.
With the kids?
No,
it's crazy.
it doesn't. But
Yeah.
I think it's that societal myth that guy felt like he had no purpose. Like, what do? I have my wife lost respect for me because she does that job, is what I think what
Right.
he was saying. I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm just saying, and people will argue that does happen. That men and women have roles, whether you like it or not. And I'm not saying that means you got to be barefoot and pregnant and you got to go to the office and make deals all day. I mean, that's the extreme situation. But, even in the dating world, there's roles. Like, girls can't be too aggressive because then guys are like, whoa, hey. I mean, you know what I mean? There's weird things.
Well, there are roles, and this episode showed there was roles too, because in some instances David's strengths are going to be, help out, in other instances it's going to be Bryan.
Totally.
So everyone has a role to play.
I agree. And that guy with the baby Bjorn brought up so much in his little scene.
He did.
That he feels like he, isn't respected by his wife. And they never really went back to him, except for at the end, he still looked really miserable at the end when the baby was crying. They gave him a coffee. They put his arm around him. They're like, it's okay. But they did point out, though, because you even said, the wife that stays home and quote unquote does nothing. Like, a lot of people think that. They pointed that out. Like, that's a hard
Absolutely.
freaking job.
No doubt.
Like, you don't even get how hard it is. And he was representative of that, too.
Right.
Showing on his face, like, oh my gosh. But then there were those two women that he met before that, and they were like, I did yoga and meditated, and then I made coffee, and then I blogged, and then I did it all before noon. So
Right.
then they're trying to make the woman like, oh, see, she can do it all. Why can't you?
Yeah.
It was interesting that, until you made that point, I hadn't really taken it that far. But you're right. The woman was organized and able to do 50,000 things in the day.
Multitask.
And she looked, at 8 o'clock in the morning. She
Perfect.
was completely put together. She had done the vegan lunch already
for her
and
son,
blogging
yeah.
and everything. And then you see this poor guy who looks like he was barely able to get out of the bed.
That's what I'm saying. See, what does that... It's just so interesting to think how it
interesting.
still is like an issue, how men and women have these roles, and it's so hard when they cross that boundary. It gets gray and it gets weird, and there's really no answer. I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
I mean, do you think that maybe women grow up being accustomed to thinking about planning those kind of things?
Yes.
I mean,
when you were little, did you open Barbie dolls and baby dolls? No, but did people give that to you as presents? No. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's that myth that you're bred all your life. Like,
Totally.
let's take care of our baby dolls. Like, little boys don't do that.
you play with trucks or
Right.
whatever.
Here, go throw a football. Like, it's shoved down your throat. I'm not
Yeah.
saying and it doesn't matter. And you don't have to be gay, a gay little boy, and he's playing with the baby doll, he's gay. Oh, he wants to be in a dance class, he must be gay. None of that really means anything. But I'm just saying it's not given to the boy as an option.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like that's for the little girl. So yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying. It gets confusing when you grow up, and in the back of your mind, you're like, I'm supposed to be taking care of the kids.
Telling me no.
Or that. I just said mind. Is this like, you know what this is? This is like you can't do that on television. Are you guys too young for that? You are. I'm aging myself. Thanks a lot. There was a show on Nickelodeon in the 80s, okay? And every time they said, I don't know, I think. They got slimed. That's where the slime came from, Nickelodeon. Oh. Look at this. I'm giving them.
You learn something new every day. Thank you, Lauren.
I am only 21, so I don't know how old you guys are. The more you know. The more you know.
I'm actually only 17.
Well, that would
12.
explain why you guys don't know, because I am very young. And
Don't worry, I know that show.
thank you.
It was they had like
Canadian.
buzzwords, like all sorts of different words.
It was a Canadian show, and Alanis Morissette was on it. And I'm sure other actors that I'm not thinking of, but every time they said a certain
Let's
word.
get back on topic, though. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, I'm just explaining so the audience isn't confused. They would get slimed, and obviously, every time I say mind, don't do it again. You're gonna play R. Kelly. Anyway, yeah. If you don't know what that show is, Bing it, okay, and look it up, and
There you go.
maybe you can watch some of it on iTunes, some reruns on iTunes, because you should be on iTunes anyway, and you should be rating and commenting on our lovely show tonight and all of our wonderful topics. Maybe you could even listen to some R. Kelly on iTunes and just bringing it all together, wrapping it up like a pretty little present.
She built that bridge, and you crossed it.
I even drew it on my paper right here. I'm drawing a little arc. iTunes, rate and comment, tell a friend, keeps the lights on. We love hearing what you guys have to say, so please let us know what you like and what you don't like.
We can take it.
We can.
And what you think about gender roles,
I
because
know.
yeah.
See, this is like such a debate right here.
it's so funny that in 2013 we'd still be talking about this, but it's a relevant topic.
Totally relevant.
Right.
It's totally relevant. And you know what? Rocky, we need to get into a little Rocky here. How awesome was NeNe Leakes? Every episode she gets more awesome and more awesome.
She just is so comfortable in that role now.
Love it.
Thank you. I love it.
I love her.
it.
She's just shining so much more. I remember the first episode, and I was like, she's a little uncomfortable. Happy to see her on it,
Yeah.
but she has just grown leaps and bounds. Like, it's
For sure.
amazing.
And I think it's kind of like what we talked about last episode we did, that the writers and NeNe are like working together simultaneously, universally. I don't know, but it is all, she's helping them write the character, I think, and they're writing the character for her at the same time. Like, it's all, I don't know, I just love the way it's all coming together.
Yeah. And I read a recent interview with her, and she was just saying how she's never really, I mean, she did a few episodes on Glee, but everyone on this show has been so gracious to her and like really helped her grow.
Yeah. I mean, they're seasoned professionals. Ellen Barkin?
I know.
Hello?
So true. Yeah.
She's been around for a very long time
Yeah.
and been in some amazing, fantastic movies.
And movies and theater. I mean, she's a seasoned actress. Justin Bartha has been in a handful of movies. I mean, we've got Ryan Murphy producing TV shows right and left.
Andrew Rannells being on Broadway, like 8 times a
galore.
week. Like, that's
yeah,
amazing.
I mean, these actors are like going for it, and she is holding her own.
She totally is.
100%.
I sometimes almost forget that she is a housewife, that she's a
I know.
reality star. I almost
know.
do.
Well, I think that actually, again, talking about merging boundaries here, the reality stars are celebrated like celebrities now anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, Kim Kardashian, all the housewives, like everyone wants to know. It's like all in one, I mean, I'm not saying that,
They should be taking all the jobs.
Helen Mirren and Kim Kardashian are the same type of celebrity. I'm just saying they're on covers of the magazines just like Julia Roberts. Like, it's probably confusing for the mind's eye. I mean, they're lumped in the same category now.
Yeah.
But there's a stigma still associated when you
sure.
come on the scene being a reality star.
For
and
sure.
she is one of the, I don't know, maybe she's the only reality star to bridge that gap to now being a legitimate
Right.
actress on a award-winning
yes.
primetime television show.
I think one's coming to mind. Well, a lot of them have crossed over into the hosting world, like Kit from,
Right.
I think it's Access Hollywood. She was
Yes.
on the first episode of Road Rules. And
Bethany
Right.
she's moved into like being a businesswoman, but and she's a host too.
She has her own talk show.
And Jacinda Barrett, she was on I'm Aging Myself Again on the Paris first season in Paris of The Real World, and she is a pretty good actress. I mean, she's not a movie actress. She was in the Zach Braff movie Garden State.
Yes.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Yes.
So but NeNe is.
She's doing it.
You know what it is? Reality TV is bigger than it's ever been. Jacinda Barrett on The Real World was like not it was like one
was
of like 5 reality TV shows. Now reality's huge. Everyone watches it. It's perfect timing for a girl like that to cross over into this, and a character like that that's perfect for her. It's like the universe is aligning itself because they went, you know what, we like her personality. Let's write a character like for this. I mean, they wrote that character for her.
And the whole thing with Bryan giving her the role as a producer on the show, that is, it's almost life and it's imitating art with Ryan Murphy and NeNe, because he has given her
this great opportunity.
A whole world of opportunity.
Yeah.
That's beyond anything she could probably have ever thought this reality show could have brought her.
Yeah,
so
100%.
It's fantastic.
I love that they did that on the show. They gave her a little bit more power and a little bit more say, because she's like a strong woman, and she, he wanted her help. He was a little worried about it. She was kind of telling people what to do, but you know what? She ran the show, and he ended up watching the episode and saying it was the best episode he had ever seen. And it probably was. Sometimes I really want to see. I'm like, what are they? I want to see like a clip from the show so badly.
I know, I do too.
It looks so good.
Well, I'm definitely proud of Rocky to get her promotion and be a producer, but I still want her in their household as much as she was before.
She will be. They're working together. I mean, I know what you're saying. You're worried she might be like too involved on the set. I feel like she still will be.
But
They'll find a way.
I feel like this producer role gives her like a very solid root in the cast.
Exactly.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And maybe even as part of their friends and family now, because they're spending even that much more time together. And I do want to talk about really quick before we move on to news and gossip, how good was the scene when he gave her the chair, when Bryan gave Rocky the chair. He said, hand me that chair over there, and it had her name on it and producer, and it made me emotional, but she got really emotional. Like, that was a good moment as an actress to have. And then she sucked it back in, like, no, I'm not going to let that happen, and kind of told him off. But I was kind of feeling emotional watching that. I was like, oh my gosh, and she's doing a good job too.
It was so simple and understated the way she approached that, and that was beautiful.
Yeah.
I started tearing up, but we all know how I feel about NeNe.
You love NeNe.
Yeah. Blog.
Okay, well, great episode. We loved it.
Yes.
Brought up some hot topics.
The new year is bringing these episodes
I know.
with
It really
is.
the new normal.
Very happy with the new normal in 2013 right now. All right, well, let's move on to some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
All right, well, NeNe Leakes looked gorgeous at the Golden Globes.
Yes, she
Miss
did.
Carolina Herrera.
Loved that with the little slit in the skirt, and I caught a glimpse of her engagement ring. It's a new one, right? I'm assuming, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
Yeah. Greg gave that to her on New Year's Eve, as we talked about last episode, and
it's like a coffee table on her finger.
It's pretty big.
Hello.
Love it.
She wouldn't accept the same ring again. Come on now.
I know. Come on. And there was a little, she's in the tabloids like everyone else, and she goes to the store, and people want to see what she's doing. And I saw some pictures of her at some convenience store. She was like buying Fritos and peanut M&Ms, and they were talking about how she's not like all those other actresses who are afraid to like eat and like be seen eating. She's just doing what she's NeNe, and she does what she wants. Nobody's gonna tell her what to do, and she looks fabulous doing it. By the way, I love her new hair.
I do too.
So good on her.
A little texture in it. It's nice.
I know. I love it. And on the Hollywood Reporter, I found a little photo gallery of Ryan Murphy and David Miller, his husband, and their 2 dogs, Sarah and Owen.
Love it.
And it's a whole bunch of pictures of their house, and their house is gorgeous. And Ryan gave a little info. He said that he and David knew each other for like I want to say over a decade before they decided, like, we're just going to start dating. Like, we want the same things. We both want kids. We're the same age, kind of like Bryan and David.
Like the episode last week,
yes.
too. Like the episode last week.
And he said, thank God it worked. Because, when you're friends and then you decide to cross over, it's like sometimes that could be bad.
It could be ugly.
Yeah.
But they have this gorgeous house. And by the way, the new normal set is designed, he said, very closely to what their house. Check it out on the Hollywood Reporter, because it is very similar. Like, the layout of the house is similar. The colors are not. Like, the colors on the set of the new normal are very bright and vibrant, because I think it's probably better for on camera.
Right.
But the colors in Ryan Murphy's house are very muted and totally like my style. And Ryan Murphy admits to being OCD. Love that, because I'm a little too. And everything's like in its place. I mean, I know it was a photo shoot, but it's probably really like that in real life. It was a beautiful house. Check it out. And they also had a fundraiser there for Barack Obama. And then there's also some Andrew Rannells and Justin Bartha have some interviews on the Huffington Post Gay Voices. And Andrew talks about his role on Girls.
Did you see that episode?
I did not. But I know they got a ton of clout at the Golden Globes this year. I mean,
and deservedly so.
I think so, from what I hear. He is leaving in the middle of this second season right now because he wants to focus on the new normal. But he does a little nude scene.
Nice tissue.
And I heard that it's nice. And he said he was very, very excited to sign the nude waiver. He took a picture of the waiver. He sent it to his friends, and he said it was like a badge of honor. Like he couldn't. He was just dying.
That's what you wait for if you're in the girls cast. Your naked moment.
And then he also concludes in this, article he's talking about how he calls himself what I guess it's a gold star gay or a purebred gay, meaning that he has never been with a woman. He knew that is not what he wanted, and so he's like, no, I just didn't even go down that path.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, talking about juxtaposition, like we were talking about this episode. Justin Bartha is like known as the dude from The Hangover, and he is like so excited to be representing who he is on the new normal. And he says like he is just so excited to be just adding like a drop in the bucket to this whole thing because he and Ryan Murphy and everybody who created the show are really trying to make it so believable and realistic. They don't want to, what they said, quote, rub Vaseline on the lens. Like they want it to be real. And I think it's nice to have someone like Andrew Rannells, who's very openly gay, and someone like Justin Bartha, who is like a man's man with that girlfriend.
We don't talk
about her. And they're both working for the same thing. And check out the articles on Huffington Post Gay Voices. They're both great.
Also, congratulations to the New Normal for winning the People's Choice Award for new comedy.
Love it. And we're hoping that means that there's more seasons to come.
Yay.
All right, let's move into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, it's the predictions remix again. Can I?
Predictions.
No.
Can I?
Okay, I'm going. So the season is coming to an end soon. And I think we're all predicting that it's going to be like the birth of the baby. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to end it that way. I mean, I guess that's my prediction, that whenever the season, I think we have a couple episodes left. I'm not positive. I feel like they're going to end it that way, but I'm like wondering where they're going because I feel like they're covering so much ground. They've got to end it there because it's kind of like a cliffhanger. I don't know. And I am a little worried about NeNe. I want to make a prediction that she's going to be more involved, but she's got this job now, so now I'm like nervous about that. And where's Nana? I'm predicting that we're going to see Nana.
Oh, we're definitely.
That was my prediction.
Yeah, she's coming back.
Where is she? I want to know. She's probably going to be selling houses and doing amazing things.
Yeah,
since
I think so.
She's been not a big player within the past few episodes.
Maybe she's working on her real estate license right now or something.
Yeah.
Well, I'm predicting more Nana and the birth of the baby at the end of the season. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, now NeNe has a new position. I want her to get a man.
Yes. Predicting a man. I like that.
Predicting a man.
I like
for
that.
Rocky.
Okay, good. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening and tuning in, and we will see you guys next week. I am Lauren Leonelli, and you can find me at Lauren Leonelli on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and my website.
Hi, I'm Jake DuPree. I'll see you later. You can find me on Twitter at Jake_DuPree.
And I'm Tara Johnson, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TJ Path to Passion. See you there.
Woo!
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
My mind's telling me no.